I think to feel the love and support, because I think a lot of us feel helpless and a lot of us feel like maybe we're alone in our anguish on this whole thing. And I think that's also what this gives you, is like there's a sense of community here. And Ursula, I know you asked me a question earlier about support services, where there are counselors here. And we actually have some guests that are with us right now, and they just joined me live. Come on over here. Hi. I'm Steve Spriester from KSAT.
Hi, I'm Shirley Graziano. We're with Crisis Response K-9 team. 2 of us are from Cleveland, Ohio. Bear is in from Orlando, Florida, and 3 other of our teammates are, I don't think they're on the grounds at the moment, but we've been here since Thursday, and they're in from New Jersey.
Talk about our furry friends that we have here too.
This guy's Zodiac. He's almost a 2-year-old Akita. This is Murphy. He's a 2-year-old Border Collie, and then Macy, she's 5, right? She's a 5-year-old Golden.
Talk about your role. Talk about why you felt you needed to be here.
Well, many of us in our group are trained in CISM, which is Critical Incident Stress Management. So, kind of to put it in a smaller term, it's like emotional first aid. And the unusual thing, it's really not us doing the work. It's really these dogs. We're just holding the leash, and the dogs draw people to them, especially children. Maybe the children are just traumatized and just don't want to talk, don't want to say anything, or feel like they're not being heard. And they can sit down, and whether we hear them or only the dog hears them, it really makes people want to open up, and definitely lowers blood pressure and definitely decompresses.
You're from Cleveland. You guys are from all over the country.
Yes.
What have you learned about South Texas and specifically Uvalde since you've been here?
Oh my goodness. The hospitality and the kindness, and people are just genuinely very gracious here, which is surprising from where we're from and from where we've been recently.
Yeah. And
we commented on such a simple thing, like these grounds have been nonstop since we arrived on Thursday, and there's no trash. You know, it's just, people are just, they take pride in what they're doing here, and it's just amazing.
Is there also a sense of, for a lot of us, it's hard to explain what happened? I mean, we can't wrap our own heads around it, but when you have one of these dogs that comes up to a child or even an adult, there's a bond there.
And they don't judge. I think that's the big thing, is dogs don't judge, and they're never going to say anything inappropriate to someone. They're just there. They're
the ultimate good listeners.
They are. Yeah. They have nothing to say and just all love to give.
Have you been helping people of all different ages? I mean, talk about some of the people that you've helped since you've been here.
We've run into grandparents that told us their story in one of the restaurants where we had breakfast. We were at breakfast this morning, and a whole family of young kids and parents that were in, I think they were just in vacationing at Neil's campground area. And it's just the little kids come running to us, and then the parents are like, oh, what's going on? And we sat next to a gentleman who has a ranch around here somewhere, and he was talking to us about his ranch and his experience, that he's been from Uvalde his whole life. And people just open up to us, and it's not us, it's literally the dogs.
Yeah.
And they're just amazed when we sit at a 6-top table, these 3 dogs disappear under the table, no one even knows they're there, and the looks on their faces when all of us start emerging, and they're like, oh my goodness, and then the kids run toward us, and there hasn't been one negative word toward us or about anyone else that we've been in contact with.
I have heard from person after person, whether they live just down the street or they live in San Antonio or New York City or Cleveland, Ohio, that they felt they had to be here. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because the world is trying, or at least our area, we're trying to get the message that we care. There's not a lot we can do. We can't make this different, but maybe we can make it a slight bit better. And my hopes are that perhaps we touch somebody that 5 years, 10 years, even 25 years from now, they are speaking about this and how awful it is, and then oh, by the way, there was these really fluffy dogs, and they have their own business cards, they have their own trading cards, and they gave them to us, and they gave us paw stickers because we carry those in our pockets.
Yeah.
And hopefully that little glimpse of joy to them sticks with them.
I'm also struck by the number of children that are here. Perhaps I shouldn't be, that there are 8, 9, 10-year-olds here who are the same age as a lot of the students
From
that were
everywhere.
killed.
Maybe
Yeah.
those children told their parents that they just felt that they needed to be here and support others of their own age. I don't really know.
Yeah, but it is striking to me that
It
there's
is.
that many kids
Yes.
that are here.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
You're
I'll let
welcome.
you continue your important work. Thank you for visiting Texas. Thank you for what you do.
Very hospitable. It's been wonderful for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So do you come?
All right, guys. If you need water, come see me. All right? All right, take care. So, Ursula, you asked if there's active therapy counseling going on. There's 3 indications, 3 furry indications that, yes, there are people here. Just if people want to talk, if people need to talk, if people have to talk, people are here.
You know, Steve, I always have said I'm a huge believer in the unspoken language between humans and animals. I think that there is something that goes on, but you know, beneath the surface there that you can't detect it scientifically, but you can emotionally.
You know what? They just left our live shot, and they're over right now with what I'm guessing is an 8-year-old and another 10-year-old. Billy, can you swing around? Look at these kids that they just left our live shot, and they have walked up, and they're talking to, you know, the dogs, asking if they can pet the dogs. There's a little kid that's on the ground there. The family seems to be lighting up that all this is going on, and it's a total proof and total vindication of what you just said, Ursula. There is a bond between animals and humans that, you know, we can't describe, and the fact that these 3 individuals not from Texas, one from Ohio, one from Florida, I mean, that they would take time out to be here. They've been here since Thursday. They don't have any plans of leaving anytime soon. That certainly speaks volumes, as well as the hospitality and love that they say they have felt from Uvalde, which I have felt as well. It was at this very park on Wednesday when one of the people that lived down the street came and asked me if I wanted a cinnamon roll. I mean, that's the kind of hospitality that we've seen in Uvalde. Despite all that's going on, despite being overwhelmed with grief and sorrow and the media presence here, South Texas hospitality is certainly evident here in Uvalde.
Steve, we're going to let you take a break and see if you can talk to some more folks. And just to reiterate, that bond, what's amazing about that bond is those animals know. They absolutely know. They know what those people are feeling. That's probably the most amazing part about that bond, is how they can feel it and how they know it. And we're going to take a break from